Build trust, teamwork, and self-discipline. There's two big pieces that we're going to be tackling in this podcast. Firstly, it's about being able to build that level of trust and teamwork with yourself and your team, because duplication is so important, as you know. So to be able to do that, you need to have a high level of trust with each other. And then secondly, structure, which allows for discipline to go easier. So then again, it makes duplication so much easier. So with these two pieces, there's two quotes I want to use. Firstly, vulnerability is the pathway to connection. And then second, success loves structure. I'm going to focus on the first one. Vulnerability is the pathway to connection. So if you go back to the second podcast that you've just done, where we speak about caring about your team, really getting obsessed about them and their goals, their vision, their values, and what they want, really obsessing about them, you're going to have a great rapport, you're going to have a great relationship with them. But if you want to take it a layer deeper to have that really strong camaraderie and trust and respect and performance from yourself and your team, vulnerability is key. You want to be able to, at the right moments, in the right amounts, be able to be vulnerable, to actually be real with your team. Because if they just see you or anyone in your upline or anyone who's successful as this perfect person that has no problems, that never doubts themselves, who never has fear, and they just put them on a pedestal, it's hard to relate to those people. And it's hard to believe that you can do the same thing or that they can do the same thing, because they have challenges. Because the reality is, everyone has challenges. I do. I doubt myself sometimes. It's a lot less than when I first started my journey, and I know you can relate to that too. So what I want to invite you to do with your team, with your clients, with everyone, with your partner as well, is learn to be a little bit more vulnerable. Learn to open up a little bit more. Because guess what that invites them to do? To do the same thing. Because as you're learning from this podcast series, mindset is such a big piece of the puzzle when it comes to success. If you want your team, or if your team, when they have something that's on their mind and they're struggling to open up about it, if they don't feel safe, if they don't trust you enough to want to open up to you, they're not going to. And they're probably going to suppress the things that are holding them back in their business, in reaching out, in making offers, connecting with people, making presentations, because maybe deep down they feel like they're not enough. They feel like they're dumb, they're stupid, they're not successful, they'll never be enough, they're not worthy of success. As their leader and as someone on your team, do you think you'd want to know about that? Of course you would. But you're not going to if you don't have that strong level of rapport and that relationship with them. So I just want to invite you, when the time is right, start to just be a little bit more vulnerable. When you're teaching something, share something about you that you're working on. I'll use an example right now. I'm learning with you, I'm teaching you guys right now when it comes to vulnerability, something that I'm working on with my vulnerability with my partner. Learning to put my walls down, learning to be open and honest about how I'm feeling. That's something that I'm working through right now. And as I share that, you can probably relate to where you do that in your life, whether it's in your relationship, your business, your career. And that's why you will then connect with me a little bit more, so you'll trust me a little bit more. You'll relate to me a little bit more, so you're going to be able to listen to me a little bit more. So just start to sprinkle a little bit of vulnerability throughout your team. Now, the second part, we spoke about success loves structure. If you want to build a real business that duplicates, because again, duplication is such a big piece of what we do and what you do, then you need to have a system. Think of McDonald's. How does McDonald's have 14-year-old kids running a multi-billion dollar company? How do they do that? They have a lot of structure, a lot of systems, and a lot of processes. So I'm not going to be going through the systems of your business because I'm not in your business. You know your business more than anyone else. So speak to your upline, speak to the support, speak to whoever you have access to if you need a little bit more clarity on the systems of the specifics of your business. And the beautiful part of your opportunity, a lot of that's done for you, which is beautiful. But what I want to give you from a personal and a professional side of things is how to plan your business so you have clarity and accountability and you're going to execute at a higher level. So what I want you to do, you'll have to do some writing down for this part, is when the time is right, you're going to brainstorm your 12-month goals. So depending when you're listening to this, it might be for the 2024 year. So what are your 2024 goals? How many downline do you want to have? How much revenue do you want to have? Whatever it may be. And I would actually recommend not just have business goals in there. You might have something for your health, for your relationship, for learning. Maybe you want to read a certain amount of books, attend a seminar or two, or whatever you want to do. I actually recommend make sure all of the values that you did in episode 1, make sure you've got goals that align with all of them. Because when we don't prioritize our values, we don't feel amazing. So make sure what I do, I do this every 3 months, which you'll hear soon. What I do is I get a whiteboard and I just brainstorm. What is it that I want to do in the next either 12 months or 3 months? But if we're doing an annual one, if this is your first time really setting strong, clear goals, do it for 12 months. So what do you want to achieve in the next 12 months? Brainstorm it. It might be downline, it might be revenue, it might be team, it might be travel, it might be investments, it might be learning, it might be health. What are all those goals? And be specific. Make sure they're measurable. You've probably heard of SMART goals before. They need to be specific, they need to be measurable, they need to be achievable, they need to be realistic, and they have to have a time base on it. So make sure they are very clear goals. You want to lose 5 kilos of body fat. You want to make $1,000. You want to sign up 10 downline. You want to remove yourself from XYZ. You want to quit your job and do full-time on your business. What are those very clear, specific goals that you want to do in the next 12 months? Now, I want you, once you've done this exercise, and you might not do it now on this podcast, but maybe do it afterwards and just replay this part of the podcast. But now, make sure you find the top 5 or top 3 to top 5. 3 to 5 high priority action items. What are the most high priority action items out of that list? Which ones are going to give you the most amount of leverage based on your life, based on your goals, based on your business? So just brainstorm, and you don't get this right all the time. This is why it's important to redo your plan, which I'll get to soon. But in your opinion, in your professional opinion, what are the top highest priority action items? For most people, when they get started with business, it's probably going to be something around revenue. You want to make X amount of dollars, because when you've got X amount of revenue and money, you've got resources, so you can delegate and systemize, and you've got more resources to play with. Like if you're Jeff Bezos at Amazon, you've probably got a lot more resources than majority of people. He's got a lot more resources than me. He's got all these team members, he's got all these things he can delegate to, so he can achieve a lot more than I can because he's got the resources. But he didn't start like that. He started with building his business, which is what you're doing. So what is the top 3 to 5? I want you to highlight them, circle them, write them down, wherever you want to do. Then what we do is we break those down into quarterly outcomes. Now, this can get a little bit technical, so I'm going to keep it simple for you. But look at the goal. Say, for example, you want to sign up 10 team members. Then, so that's the annual goal. Then the next step, what do you want to do in the next 3 months, the next 90 days? That's a quarter of a year. So if you were to go a quarter of 10, it's 2.5. Let's round it up to 3. So in the next 90 days, you want to sign up 3 downline. Fantastic. So you write that down. Say you want to lose 10 kilos of body fat. In 3 months, you want to lose 2.5 kilos of body fat. You see what I'm doing now, right? What are those top 5 priorities? And then you break them down into quarterly goals. Fantastic. Now, if you're following along, we're going to do that again to monthly goals. So if that's what you want to do in 3 months, what are you going to do in the next month to achieve that goal? Okay. So again, just break it down. Just use, if you need a calculator, sometimes it's as clear as just literally dividing the number to make a smaller number, but sometimes it's a little bit different. If you want to, say you want to build a house, you can't build a quarter of a house. Well, technically you can if you're the builder, but you might need to come up with a deposit. You need to do your research and decide where do you want to buy the house. You want to apply for the permit if you're going to do development on the house. So there might be some other steps to be able to achieve the goal, or sometimes it's very clear and you just break it down step by step. Beautiful. Then from monthly, we go down to weekly. Now, when you get to the weekly and the daily outcomes, a lot of them are quite repetitive because success is consistency. To be healthy, relatively healthy, it's not like something different every single day and week. It's going to the gym consistently, eating good food consistently getting good sleep, and consistently drinking a lot of water. It's pretty simple. It's so simple, most people won't do it. So when you get to weekly and daily outcomes, you just really look at yourself and say, great, what do I need to do on a weekly and daily basis for me to move towards my goals? How many messages do you need to send out to generate leads? How many presentations do you need to give? How many invites to the next webinar, workshop that you've got? How many do you need to send out? How many times do you need to train? How much money do you need to put away into an investment account? What are those breakdown of those goals? So break down to weekly, then break down to daily. Beautiful. Now, this is a very, very powerful tool I'm about to give you. It's called daily huddles. I've been doing this every day for the last 6 years of my life, and it has significantly transformed me from my personal life to my professional life to my clients to my team. It's game changing. And in terms of discipline and duplication, this is insane. If you want to duplicate success, you want more structure. I'm giving you the secret sauce right here, right now. So on a daily basis, I did one this morning, and I'll do one tomorrow, and I'll do one the next day, and I'll do one the day after that. This is what you do. Firstly, number one, first step of a daily huddle. What are you excited about today? Get some excitement, because remember that certainty, that energy, that vibration that you put out, you're going to attract that back, and you're going to pass that on to the people that you talk to. Second, you write down what were your outcomes, the goals that you said you were going to achieve yesterday. Are they done or not done? Now you see the power in this. One, you've got clarity and you're actually reviewing what you did the day before, but you're also holding yourself accountable. Now, if you've got a team already, or maybe you just got someone you're doing business with, I recommend do this with them, because you're going to hold each other accountable. Because say you didn't do anything you said you're going to do, the next day you're going to tell people that you didn't do anything. And that level of social pressure and negativity that you'll feel because you've let yourself down, that's a good thing. It drives you to be better the next day. So first step is excited. What are you excited for today? Second, what were your outcomes for yesterday? Done or not done? Why weren't they done? Next step, what are your outcomes today? What are you achieving today? And just make sure they're very clear, they're very measurable. Just like I said about the SMART goals, make sure they're very clear. Don't say do some lead generation. It will be generate 10 leads or whatever the number is based on your annual goals. It might be generate 2 leads, 5 leads, send out 150 messages, knock on 50 doors. It doesn't matter. Just get clear on whatever the goal is and write it down. Fourth step, what support do you need with these outcomes? So you don't have an excuse the next day to why they weren't done. Because some people say, I didn't achieve my goals because I didn't know how to do them. Well, we give you the opportunity to ask for support. Whether it's from you might be their upline and they're asking you for support, or they might be asking someone else. Beautiful. And then number 5, what are you grateful for? Get some good energy, good vibration, be in a good state to tackle your day. So I'll summarize the daily huddle. Number 1, what are you excited for today? Number 2, what were your outcomes for yesterday? Done or not done? Why weren't they done? Number 3, what are your outcomes today? What are you achieving today? Number 4, what support do you need with these outcomes today? Number 5, what are you grateful for? That will give you so much structure and clarity and accountability and systems to duplicate your success for your team. I'd recommend making a group chat. Depending how big your team is, design this differently. If you've got a small team, it's easy. If you've got like sort of 5 to 10 people, you'll send yours through. We actually jump on a call together. So if you've got the luxury of doing that, you jump on a call and you can make it really sharp. You can do a huddle in a couple of minutes. You just go through the no fluff, no excuses, just go straight to the point. You can get it done in a couple of minutes. So if you've got the luxury of doing it on a call, it's really powerful. If not, just in a group chat, it's really powerful. And just remember the first point we spoke about, learn to be a little bit more vulnerable over time with your team, so you build a deeper and deeper connection with them, so they trust you, they follow you, they're going to share with you when they've got something on their mind, so you as their leader can support them to grow. I hope you enjoyed this, guys. We've got one more episode coming up, and this one's going to go a lot deeper into the mindset side of things on how you can optimize your mind and your team's mind for success. I'll see you soon.